Hey, what's going on, y'all? Episode 46 of the Weekly Word is understanding. It's been a little while since we've had an episode. In fact, about 2 weeks since I last gave episode 45. And that's because I was trying to really find the right word. You know, these things have to come to me in time. And it happened today while I was out on my run. I got to reflecting over the day's events. And there were a couple of situations that arose where understanding the information hierarchy proved very successful in my ability to ultimately achieve understanding for myself and for someone else. So what do I mean by that? In the information hierarchy, it starts off with raw data at its lowest level. And raw data, the step above that on the ladder is information. Above that is knowledge, and above that is understanding. So if you peel that back and look at it even closer, we get bombarded with raw data all the time. And if we can take that raw data and form some semblance of it and make some kind of sense out of bits and pieces of it, that forms ultimately information. We get information through our news channels, through online. We've heard this whole adage about fake news and alternative facts, and all these different things in the past couple of months have really come to full fruition. But if you take that information to the next level up, it actually differentiates to more of a knowledge phase. So the information hierarchy, again, raw data to information to knowledge. When you get to the point where you have knowledge, you truly understand really the details surrounding an issue or at least a side of an issue or the sides of an issue. And that's ultimately where most of us operate from. It's where we want to try to be when we make sound decisions. But if we're really lucky, we can achieve the ultimate in the information hierarchy called understanding. So I want you to think about it like this. Do you understand how to, and let's just pick something out of the blue. Do you understand how to drive a car? Well, most of you that are watching this understand how to drive a car. And you understand that way more than you understood how to drive a car whenever you were 15, 16, 17 years old. Because when you were young, all you really had was a bunch of raw data that was formulating your knowledge, your understanding, your take, your psyche on how to execute the driving of the car. But as you started to peel the onion back, maybe you took some driver's ed classes, maybe you got tutored and mentored, you gained a little bit more of an understanding in this process to the degree of you have information about to do it. And then you went out and you actually drove a car on a permit or whatnot. You went from information now to knowledge. You're now knowledgeable on the execution of car driving. And with that execution comes more experience to the degree that you get to a point where you truly understand the elements that it is driving a car. I give you that analogy to consider in real life when you're trying to figure out, how do I approach this problem? How do I approach this person? Think about understanding. If you can get to a point where you can go from raw data to information and knowledge to understanding their perspective, it's going to in turn give you a better approach to truly being able to then in turn communicate with them so that maybe together we can achieve a common understanding. I hope you enjoyed this episode, 3 minutes and 10 seconds, and I hope that we don't have such a lapse between the next time that I see you. Have a good rest of your week.